How long have you had a relationship with Goldberg?
In person, I want to say about 4 or 5 years. It was the 2019 Mr. Olympia. He had done like an appearance. And prior to that, he had followed me on Instagram thanks to CT, actually. CT's like my lifting dad, and then Goldberg's like my Texas dad.
CT Fletcher.
CT Fletcher, yep. And I had been doing CT's Iron Wars events for a handful of years. I still do them. And after getting to know CT, I basically just told him, because I saw that he was friends with Goldberg, and I told him that, I thought it was the coolest thing ever that he was friends with Goldberg. And I remember tagging Goldberg, I think, in a lifting post of me deadlifting in a shirt, and he had like reposted it or something. And then he had asked CT about me, and I remember CT telling me about this conversation, but CT just basically put in a really good word for me. And through that conversation, Goldberg, I think, was able to see that I was more than just a fan. Like this individual like had the type of impact on me that you've had on millions of people. And so like being able to then create the opportunity to go meet him at the Olympia, wait in line, and then meet him for the first time. It's like I'm watching TV. My mom's there with me. My best friends are with me. My mom's crying. I'm crying. It was like by far the best day of my life thus far. And those 5 years leading up to where I'm at now, where I've taken my life from Arizona to move to Austin to make myself available to get to hang out with my childhood hero every weekend, get to train his son. What an honor that is. Be able to have dinner with his family. He took me to one of the PFL fights, when he was in front row. And it was just, I don't know. I live a very blessed life, and I'm very thankful to God and everybody around me that has allowed me to get to where I'm at. And being able to call Goldberg, whether it's a friend or a father figure, it really hones in on why these different things that have happened in my life, including this podcast, are not a coincidence. And so that's even more motivation for me to continue striving for these goals, no matter how long that they take and no matter how much doubt that creeps through my head. Because I think Goldberg alone, being able to manifest that relationship that took about 20 years, that's all I need to know that I'm on the right path to be able to pay it forward in the way that he did for me.
Isn't it crazy now that guys that we idolized, that were on the posters on the wall, we watched when we were kids. I know I can obviously say my stories as you can say yours. We're friends now, literally, with these people that were once kind of so untouchable to us. They were just gods, if anything, right? We looked at them with just, big eyes. And, wow, you're just so amazing. And now many of these guys that I mentioned train at my gym, and I get to see
That's so cool.
very regularly and have that relationship. But to your point, I manifested it just like you have. So for you to have that relationship with Goldberg from that first meeting, obviously you made that impact that day for him to keep in connection. Obviously, you said prior he was following you, right? And then now to have a true relationship which extends far from Instagram, where it's more of a family thing, is a testament to you and where you're going. Because I got to say also on the podcast, when we mentioned who should we bring on next, Goldberg is one of the guys that messaged me and said, you need to get him on the podcast, bro. He actually DM'd me and said,
did he really?
Yeah, I will pull it up.
That's awesome.
He's like, you need to get him on the podcast. I was like, holy shit, Goldberg DM'd me asking me to put somebody on the podcast, regardless is going on,
funny. Thank you so much.
What a legend. I mean, we both grown up watching Goldberg dominate. Is that somebody that you model your character around now?
I think I've been modeling myself around that character since the first time I saw him, even going to these fake wrestling matches I had with my friends, like, fighting on the bed, and they would hit me in the face. I would shake my head and register pain the same way that Goldberg did in his matches. And, even leading into like some of my powerlifting years, where wherever I hit the PR, it was just like the same intensity and charisma, where Goldberg hits a spear and just like losing it. And I don't know, I just feel like I've just basically repetitively done this in my head so many times. And even though, I'm not hitting a spear on a WWE or WCW stage, that spear that I just hit in front of a crowd and them going crazy and me getting to fire up, wow. Like it's amazing. And it's funny because the reason why Goldberg resonates with me is back when I was 3 years old, WWE television was not necessarily super appropriate for like your average toddler, I guess.
It was at 3 o'clock in the morning in the UK.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He was staying up past bedtime.
I was.
Yeah.
I'm coming back down after.
Oh, yeah. So my parents were very protective over me. I was the only child, like I said. so they didn't really let me watch WWE, but they did let me watch WCW, and specifically let me watch like all of Goldberg's matches. And, you know, in today's world of wrestling, Goldberg catches a lot of flack because of, you know, his shooting to the top and that whole story. But I think what is not really touched on is how he was literally a superhero to so many kids, because he filled in that role of somebody that was invincible, of somebody that displayed humility and also just true, genuine care for those that were fans of him. And like being able to see that to where you have like this epitome of what a man should be like from a physique standpoint, from all that stuff, and then see that he has a heart and be able to like pick up a kid or do the Make-A-Wish and stuff like that. To me, watching that as a kid, I'm like, that's what I should be like. That's what I should strive to be like. So that's where I started lifting as a kid. I remember my dad saying, you want to get traps like Goldberg, you better start shrugging, you know? And so I've been shrugging since I was like 5 years old, you know? And I remember the first time I went to a commercial gym, I think I was 16 or something, and so somebody was like, yeah, great traps, man. You know, you remind me of that one wrestler. What's his name? I'm like, Goldberg. He's like, yeah, Goldberg. I'm like, yes, you know. But anyways, and yeah, so he's had impact on me well before I ever met him, and the more that I get to know him, the more that continues to grow.